Fiancé made a disturbing comment about my late wife during a family dinner, unsure if I should call off the engagement to protect my kids. For some background info, I, 43 male, have 2 children with my late wife Kayla. Sam, 21 meters, and Liz, 16F. All fake names. Kayla passed away when our kids were 15 and 10. I won't give specifics about how she passed, but she was struck by a drunk driver when she was on her way home from work. She really was the love of my life, and to say that her passing hit our family hard would be an understatement. I promised myself that if I got back into the dating game I wouldn't date anyone for at least a couple years for the sake of my kids. 3 years after my wife's passing, I met my now fiancée. We'll call her Amanda. Things went slow and I didn't introduce her to my kids until we had been dating for about a year at that point. Now we've been together for 3 years and are engaged. Amanda and my kids have always had a good relationship. Neither of my kids are super close to her, but they have always been friendly and welcoming to her, and Amanda has never overstepped any boundaries my kids have, like trying to replace their mother. At the beginning of Amanda and I's relationship, she was a bit insecure of the fact that I was a widower. During the first few months of us dating, she would constantly ask things like if Kayla had never passed, would I still be with her right now? I always kept my answers brief, and told her that I didn't like thinking about the what ifs and that she was the one I was dating now and that was what mattered. Eventually she stopped making these comments and I stopped worrying about it. Now to the issue. My parents were hosting a family dinner to celebrate my fiancé and I's engagement. It was my mom and dad, my late wife's sister and her husband, Sam and Liz, and me and Amanda. Dinner was going well, we were all making small talk with each other and talked about wedding plans. About halfway into dinner my mom made a comment about how she was so happy I was able to find the spark I had with Kayla and someone else. I don't think anybody really paid much attention to the comment, but then Amanda laughed and said I'm happy she died, otherwise I would have never gotten him to myself. The tone of the dinner immediately shifted and everyone got extremely tense, especially my kids. Amanda noticed the shift and started awkwardly laughing like she was trying to play her comment off as a joke. I was honestly just frozen as that was the first time she had made a comment like that. My kids looked disgusted and Liz got up and walked out to the car. Sam waited a bit longer like he wanted me to say something, but I was still in shock about what Amanda had said. To make a long story about the dinner short, the dinner was kind of ruined, so I said my goodbyes to everyone, grabbed my fiancé and we all drove home. My daughter hasn't spoken to me or Amanda since and it's been 3 days. I got tired of it and pulled my son aside to ask him what I should do. He said something along the lines of I'm a grown man and don't care who another grown man marries, but I don't want a woman who speaks like that about our mother around my sister. Sam's comment stuck with me and now I'm considering calling off the engagement entirely. She's never made comments like this before, but I'm worried if I let it slide this one time, it will become more frequent and it will affect my daughter. I need some advice from outside perspectives and just want to do right by my kids. Wibta if I called it the engagement because of the comment she made? Edit. Wow, I didn't expect to get this much advice so shortly after posting this. Nonetheless, thank all of you for the advice and even the people calling me a bad father. I think your guys' words are what I needed to pull my head out my ass. I will try to talk to my kids alone tonight before speaking with my fiancé and we'll see where it goes from here. I'm pretty sure my fiancé and I are over though. I'll update late tonight or tomorrow on how the talks with everyone goes. Thank all of you again for setting my head straight. Edit number 2. I tried posting my update on here but this post wouldn't allow it. Update 1. Did my fiancé apologize to anyone at the dinner party? No, she didn't. I honestly don't think it even registered or has registered to her that what she said was wrong. 2. Does fiancé have social anxiety? Not to my knowledge, no. In all the time I've known her she's never shown any signs of social anxiety and doesn't have a history of it. 3. How old was my late wife? She was 37 when she passed and we were the same age. Amanda is 41. A lot of people were asking for clarification on the time frame of her passing and when my fiancé and I met. At this point in time Kayla has been gone for about 6 years and I met Amanda roughly 3 years after Kayla's passing. I didn't mention either of their ages as I didn't believe it was important because we're so close in age, but I understand why a lot of you guys would want to know. Now that I've clarified the things I was most asked about in the comments, we can get into the update. While I'm writing this update, it's the day after I talked to my kids. So last night at around 5:30 my fiancé left for work. She works nights most days of the week, so I was able to call my son and ask if he could come over so I can talk to him and his sister. He goes to our local college and lives in an apartment near his school. When he started college he wanted to move out but also wanted to stay close to us, so he settled on an apartment a few blocks away from the college. He came over and I called him and his sister into the living room to talk with the both of them. When they were both seated I told them point blank that I didn't think the wedding was happening anymore, and that the comment she made was unacceptable. I then, by the advice of the comments, apologized to them. I told them I was sorry for not saying anything for so long and letting the tension thicken in our home. I told my daughter that I understood why she hasn't spoken to me and that I was sorry for allowing her to think that I was even remotely okay with what she said. I felt pretty spineless after we had gotten back from dinner that night, so I wanted to do everything in my power to make it right with my kids during the conversation. My daughter told me that she felt disgusted at the comment Amanda made and even more so when I didn't defend her mother. She then told me that the past 2 years that she's known Amanda, she felt like she's been gradually trying to push her and Sam away from me. One of the examples Liz gave was when my son moved out. He moved out when he was about to start his sophomore year of college, and when he mentioned the idea of moving out, Amanda was the one who took that and ran with it. According to Liz, Amanda was the one encouraging Sam the most to move out. To be clear, I was never against Sam moving out, but I was clear to him too he was welcome to live at home for his college years and even after until he found where he wanted to be. I asked Sam if he felt pushed out by Amanda, and if that's why he moved out. He said he hadn't felt pushed out before he told everyone he wanted to move, but after he put it out there my fiancé kept pushing for him to move out. Liz cut in and said that every time she brings up college, Amanda keeps encouraging her to go out of state. Liz doesn't plan on going out of state and she's been open about wanting to go to the college Sam is attending right now. Liz said she feels like Amanda is waiting till she graduates high school and goes to college so she can move out. A lot of the comments were right about the subtle comments eventually turning into Amanda wanting my kids pushed away from me. Liz said that she was scared that by the time I eventually noticed the way Amanda was acting, too big of a wedge would have already been driven between me and them. I told them, why kids, that I'm sorry it's taken me this long to notice and that I was also sorry they've been walking on eggshells for so long. I hugged my kids and told them no matter what, they are my top priority, not Amanda or anybody else. A lot of comments pointed out that even though my son is grown, he still needs his father, and I made sure to let my son know that I will always be there for him and his sister even when they are well grown. The entire conversation lasted about 2 hours, we covered a lot of the bases we wanted to, and it got emotional on all sides. In short, Amanda and I are done. I've made it a point to tell my kids that none of this situation is their fault, and that Amanda is the grown woman who said what she said. My kids and I are okay right now, but they aren't 100% with me and probably won't be for a while. I'm completely fine with that and just want my kids comfortable in their own home. Amanda has tomorrow off from work, so I plan on talking to her tomorrow. I also plan on calling my mother to ask her why she thought it was okay to even bring up Kayla at the dinner. I don't want my daughter here when it all goes down, so she's staying tonight and tomorrow night with Sam. So that's where I'm at right now. Not super happy about the outcome of me and Amanda, but would rather have my kids happy and healthy than have a wife. Again, thank you everyone for the advice and the harsh words. I'll update after I call it off with Amanda. Update 2. Okay everyone, here's the update you guys were waiting for. So where we last left off is my kids and I talked, made up, and my daughter is staying with her brother so she doesn't get caught up in what was about to happen with my now ex-fiancé. Before the hard part of the day, breaking it off with Amanda, I made a call to my mom to let her know of the situation. A lot of the comments told me to not bash my mom for the comment she made. Now thinking back on the situation with a clear mind, the comment my mother did towards Amanda was most definitely a compliment towards her. And that was confirmed in the call I had with her. My mother, bless her heart, felt extremely guilty for the entire situation. She fully believed the situation all stemmed from her one comment. I assured her that none of the situation was her fault and that I've never blamed her one bit for any of this. We talked a bit more before I let her go. The call ended at about 9:15 a.m. and I was left waiting for Amanda to wake up. She woke up at around 10:30 a.m., and I didn't want to ambush her straight after she woke up, so I waited until about 11:10 a.m. to sit her down and talk. A lot of people in the comments suggested to secretly video the whole thing. I thought that was extremely smart, so I had my phone set to record in my back pocket the entire time. I didn't think she'd try to do anything drastic, but I would rather be safe than sorry. The talk with her went about as well as anyone could imagine, so not at all. I told her I needed to talk with her, that it was serious, and we sat in the living room. When we were seated, I began unloading at her about the comment she made about Kayla at my parents' house, how it made my kids feel, how it made me feel, her lack of an apology of any sort of acknowledgement to what she said, and so on. I told her I expect her to give an apology to my parents, my in-laws, and most importantly, my kids. During the entire time of me unloading on her, she didn't seem to show any bit of emotion other than her eyes, which were slightly wider than normal. After I spoke my truth, she straight up asked, so if I apologize to everyone, we'll go back to normal? I told her point blank, no. I told her that the comment she made at dinner was not the extent of my problems with her. I then told her that I know she heavily pressured Sam to move out when he wasn't even sure if he wanted to at that point in time, and that I also know she is now trying to do the same with Liz. I did my absolute best to leave my kids out of the situation, but told Amanda that the way my kids described her treatment towards them was the main reason I don't see a future with her anymore. Amanda was stone-faced up until I told her we were done. I think that's when the panic set in for her. She kept saying that she'll apologize to everyone, that she'll make it right with my kids, ect. I told her that if she apologizes, I will certainly appreciate it, but we were still done either way. She was full on crying at this point and asked me why wasn't I willing to try and fix our relationship? And I told her that even though I loved her, and I will be honest I still love her very much, I was not willing to take another chance of my kids being hurt against the way they were. I was frustrated and shot back at her asking her why she was trying to push my kids out of their own home? And I got back an answer I was not at all expecting. I was completely shocked at her response, but a lot of you guys won't be. A lot of commenters actually hit the nail right on the head with what Amanda was truly like. Amanda responded with, "Well, I didn't know you expected me to house somebody else's kids for the rest of my life." I immediately saw red, and after about a minute I told her get out. I told her that my kids can go wherever they damn please, especially in the house that I own and pay for. She tried to retaliate but in the end ended up pack a few bags and going to stay with one of her friends. I emailed a copy of the phone recording to myself. The talk only lasted about 25 minutes, not nearly as long as the talk I had with my kids, so if anything ends up coming of the conversation, I have all I'd need to keep my name clear. I've texted my kids that Amanda is out of the house for good, that they are welcome to come home anytime, and let my son know that if he wants to, he is more than welcome to move back in completely. My daughter is coming back from her brother's place in the afternoon and I still have phone calls to make to my parents and in-laws to apologize for this mess of a situation. Amanda is out of my house but keeps blowing up my phone for us to try to work things out. I'll let her come by in the next few days so she can collect the rest of her stuff out of my house, but she is not welcome to live here again. I'll be honest and say that I am a bit devastated. Despite everything Amanda did, I still love her, and I probably won't stop loving her for a minute. But I'll be okay. Right now I just want to focus on the family that needs me, and will use this situation as an excuse to bond more with my kids. Another big thank you to everyone who helped me in the comments. A lot of the advice you guys gave played a part in making things right with my family. Update 3. Everything that happened honestly feels like a lifetime ago, which has reminded me that I'm getting older as I'm now 44. Haha. Liz turned 17 a few months ago and Sam is about to be 22. Life has honestly been pretty peaceful since I broke things off with Amanda. I will give a quick recap to my last update from almost a year ago when I had the conversation with Amanda. She had stayed at her friend's place for about a week and I took that time to take the advice of many comments and I packed up her stuff like clothes and other small items for her. She had a couple of bigger things like chairs and other decor, so I made sure those were the only things she was allowed to come in the house for. I got the locks changed per advice as well. I will say that a lot of you commenters thought of things that didn't even cross my mind, like the locks, and I'm thankful you guys are a bit more cognitive than me. Everything after that was pretty smooth and amicable, which did surprise me. She came by and picked up her things and gave me back the ring, which I didn't want back but she gave it to me anyways, and we didn't talk much. It was calm but that didn't last because a few weeks later, she was harassing my socials for another chance. I was pretty exhausted by her at that point so I just blocked her and had my kids block her as well. A lot of commenters pointed out in my second update that I didn't love her, I loved who I thought she was, and that was spot on, and it had helped the process of me moving on go much more quickly. It's been radio silence from her end since me and my kids blocked her, and since it's been almost a year, I'm pretty confident it will stay that way. This whole situation has made me realize that I'm perfectly fine and okay with being single for the rest of my life. Maybe people will see that as sad, but I find it more as an acceptance thing. Ending things with Amanda made me realize that I didn't feel that same love with her I felt with Kayla and probably never will with anyone else. That's not fair to me or the person I could potentially date, and I'm content with the family I have around me. This situation has almost given me a whole new appreciation for my kids. They showed more maturity and understanding than I ever did at their age, and it's made me love them even more, which I didn't think was possible. Haha. Sam still has his apartment. I offered for him to move back in but he declined, as he really enjoys having his own bachelor pad, which I understand as I was his age once too. He has a part-time he really enjoys that he's been working since his second semester this year, and I think he met a girl. Not sure, but I know my kid and I'm catching a vibe from him. Liz is amazing as always and she enjoying summer before her senior year. She's made honor roll every year of high school including this year and I'm so damn proud. Both of my kids are such hard-working and genuinely good people that it's hard not to toot my own horn when I think about it. Sorry for rambling in this post about them. I love them more than anything and find myself word vomiting about them when I speak about them. I'm sure other dads can relate. Haha. Another huge thank you to everyone who's been following my story and gifting me all your amazing, and some not so amazing, advice. And also know that I've read your own stories in the comments about you similar experiences. I'm sorry a lot of you guys didn't have the support system I've shown my kids, and I really appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to share your own personal stories. I wish I could give all of you giant dad hugs. Now on to second story. Growing up as a parent to my siblings, I'm finally leaving home, but now my mom is guilt-tripping me for abandoning them. I'm 22F, my mom is 37, and I have 3 younger siblings F14, F7 and M4. Me and the second oldest have different dads from each other, and the other 2. They and this upcoming baby all have the same dad, our stepdad. I'm sorry if that was confusing. There are 3 dads in total but only our stepdad is involved now. I was the babysitter and mom growing up. When my sister was born I magically became mom despite not even being double digits. When the others came I still was mom. I didn't get to have fun, go out, or be a kid. My job in the house was to cook, clean, raise my siblings and deal with our mom. She was incredibly immature growing up and loved to drink, party, spend money on luxuries and not be a mom. She acts more like a mom now but a lot of the work still falls on me. She robbed me of my childhood and I'm very bitter about it. The only reason I lived at home for so long was because no one could take me in, and I felt that I could tolerate it all for free rent and food. It was a good deal for me then, but I'm 22 now. I'm done being a mom when I don't even have kids. Last year my stepdad's parents died in a car accident, and as their only child he got everything. We all moved into their home and got a bit of money under our belts, so I guess they decided to have a baby. When my mom announced it, I asked if she was serious. She confirmed and asked me if I still had my diaper changing skills as a joke. I was silently livid. I dryly laughed and found some roommates online that night. The thought of wasting another 10 plus years raising my siblings sounded like hell. She found out that I'm planning on leaving come August, and now she's irate, calling me every name under the sun and selfish. She got my siblings involved, and the youngest is crying, asking why I don't love them anymore and why I'm leaving. It's really low to use kids like that, and it hurts. I don't want to stay, but I don't want them to cry. I know I'm doing the right thing for myself, but is it the right thing for them? My mom never really parented growing up. She wouldn't, so I took over that role. I was the one who changed diapers and taught them their ABCs and all that. I was the one who cooked dinner and bathed them. I look at none of my siblings as siblings but as my own kids, because that's what they basically are. I don't think she'll be able to do a good job. She and my stepdad rely on me heavily in that category. Ida for leaving? I need advice on how to get over this feeling and move on. Edit, holy shit, this kind of blew up when I wasn't expecting it to. Thanks everyone for the kind messages. You all are right, I need to go. My mom and stepdad need to figure it out. I'm going to talk to all three of my siblings and explain that me leaving is normal and a good thing. I'll always be a phone call away. I'm most worried about my 14-year-old sister though, and will not hesitate to get authorities involved if I suspect she's going through what I went through or she tells me herself. I'll be giving her a different type of talk soon to try and prevent her from becoming the new mom. Update 1. My mom and stepdad blocked me, but my 14-year-old sister is so far doing fine. I talked to all my siblings individually, but it was rough in more ways than one. I had an explosive argument with my mom the day I left, but that was to be expected. She said nothing new. She called me selfish, a brat, a terrible daughter, and said that she wished she had aborted me. Nothing I haven't heard before. About a week or so before I moved out, I stopped doing most of the things I did before. My parents freaked out and we had a lot of arguments, but I'm happy it's over with. Every time they saw me, a comment was said either to my face or under their breath. My mom would act like I was invisible and talk shit about me to whoever was around. She filled my siblings' heads up with bullshit, and I was incredibly stressed about it. I actually considered staying at that point. I was very close to just staying home, which I know will disappoint you all, but I almost did. This wasn't an easy transition for my siblings, and they're small. It hurts so bad watching them get wrapped up in all of this. My parents had no idea how to do anything for some reason. They had no patience and couldn't get the kids to listen to them. I know they didn't have much experience in childcare, but they were acting brand new. I had a really hard time watching them struggle and watching my siblings suffer because of it. I felt fucking horrible and like I was neglecting them. School is also coming up very soon, and I used to always get them together, so that's going to be an upcoming problem. I'm happy that I won't be around for that, but I'm sad that I won't be. My little brother will be a kindergartner and my sister will be a freshman in high school. Those are huge milestones I wanted to be around for. But, on the bright side, my sister is playing the incompetence card all on her own, and I love her for it. After our conversation about not turning out like me, she told me she'll pretend not to know how until mom stops asking her, which hasn't happened yet. Apparently mom asks her to cook, wash the kids, get them dressed, etc., little gateway things that will spiral into her being the new mom. I'm proud of her for sticking to her plan for the few weeks that she has. She's a lot stronger than I thought she was. I really thought that I'd have to drill it into her to not do anything, but she's doing a lot better than expected. I just hope she doesn't crumble under the pressure. I know it's hard. In order to visit I have to be welcomed back into the house, but that isn't going well since I'm blocked. I don't want my sister being the middleman, even though she's already trying. I want to see everyone, but without permission there's nothing I can do. And, if anyone cares about my new move, my roommates are great. We played Monopoly our first night all settled in, and it was a great bonding experience. And they're very clean people. It seems so small, but holy shit. It's amazing. I'm loving my current arrangement and hoping it lasts. So yeah. I'm doing fine. My sister didn't take over my job, and I hope she never does, and my parents are losing their minds as expected. I can see their marriage falling apart in the future too. They can figure it all out and raise this one start to finish. Part of me is still feeling incredibly guilty for leaving, and I sometimes regret it, but my newfound freedom feels so good and I'm reminded of why I left. I'm going to a bar later tonight with my roommates for the first time in my life to let loose and have fun. It feels so weird to say, but I feel like a teenager Lamau. Everything is so exciting and feels a bit illegal, like I'm out way past curfew. So thank you again everyone. I don't think I'd have actually moved without your guys' words. Even though I found roommates, I don't think I could have left on my own. I wouldn't have committed and probably just stayed home. I'm not as strong as I thought I was. It really helped me make a decision when I thought about disappointing you guys. I've never met any of you, but having a cheerleader and knowing that so many of you saw my post and wrote me a kind message really helped. I couldn't be more grateful and excited to live my life. I thought it would be a great time to update since I'm going out tonight to have some fun. Someday all the guilt I'll be gone and I'll patch up my relationship with everyone. I still want to have a relationship with my mom someday if she'll change and allow it. As much as I say I hate her, I still sort of love her. She's still my mom.